In Vietnam this week, the former chairman of a state-owned shipbuilding company lost his appeal for a lighter jail sentence. Pham Thanh Binh was once the head of Vietnamese, the nation's largest shipbuilder. It almost collapsed under its multi-billion-dollar debt back in 2010, and Pham's poor management was partially to blame. Here's VTV4 with the story.
The three-day appeal hearing the Vietnamese case, overseen by the Supreme People's Procuracy, closed last week in Hanoi. Pham Thanh Binh, former chairman of Vietnam Shipbuilding Industry Group, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for intentionally violating state regulations during his tenure at the company. 8 other former executives of the Vietnam Shipbuilding Industry Group will hand a sentence between 10 to 19 years. The former Vietnamese executives were blamed for losses of more than $43 million, mostly from procurement of an Italian-made high-speed passenger vessel and 2 electric generators.
The accused official claimed that, at the time, he wasn't aware that he was illegally purchasing the ship. And more bad news for Vietnam's economy came with the arrest of a business tycoon, news of which sent the stock market into a tailspin. This businessman had strong ties to banks and soccer, but some wonder if the arrests of prominent businessmen are just a smokescreen for the financial mismanagement occurring at the highest ranks of Vietnam's government. Our contributor in Hanoi, Nguyen Qui Duc, tells us what microbloggers have to say about the latest financial scandal rocking Vietnam.
Until a couple of years ago, Vietnam was still being lauded as another Asian tiger in the making. Economic growth at 8%. A cheap labor force, a good alternative to India and China, and member of the World Trade Organization since 2007, plus a rigid, thus stable party in charge. All that seems to be unraveling. Bloggers have wasted no time reporting about unwelcome media attention from the West. Reuters and the New York Times ran articles this past week declaring economic meltdown in Vietnam. One thing that bloggers here have talked more of who rather than why. They're focused on the arrest of Nguyen Duc Kien, the business tycoon known also as the godfather and the owner of the Hanoi Football Club. Bloggers say Nguyen is just the tip of the iceberg. This blog entry says, perhaps soon there will be hundreds more sacrificial lambs. Godfather Nguyen Duc Kien himself is an important link in a chain of corrupt economic manipulation, a center for transferring illicit money. Nguyen Duc Kien is indeed a founder of Asia Commercial Bank, and he's still a shareholder. He has stakes in many other banks. He's being held under the catch-all charge of illegal business practices. Several bloggers have focused on his relationship with the Prime Minister Nguyen Duc Duc. Here on Dân Làm Báo, or Citizen Journalists, one blogger says, the arrest of Nguyen Duc Kien is a strike against Prime Minister Nguyen Duc Duc's people. People know his underlings are being thrown in jail by others. The blog went on to ask the question who the others are, and the answer is found in many other blogs as well. The party chief, the head of parliament, and the state president. Bloggers say this is the public phase of a feud between these officials who traditionally ruled Vietnam and Prime Minister Nguyen Duc Duc. Dân Làm Báo also offered complex conspiracy theories about moves against the Prime Minister, including reports about a recent closed-door session of criticism of high-ranking party members. One headline sums it up as the knockout punch by the state president against the Prime Minister. No wonder this past week so many blogs quoted a long independence essay by President Trương Tấn Sang with the headline, "We must feel shame towards our ancestors." The president praised some of the achievements in the 67 years since Ho Chi Minh declared independence, but he also warns there are large groups of people, including cadres, party members, those in leadership and management positions, and high-ranking officials with degenerate political thoughts, morals, lifestyles, and various expressions of weak ideals, selfish personal aims, opportunism, people who run after fame, money, career advancements, and who are corrupt, wasteful, and without principles. Nguyen Duc Duc has emerged in recent years as a strongman ruling with a touch of nepotism. That includes a son who's a vice minister of construction and a daughter who directs several companies, financial securities companies, in the commercial hub of Ho Chi Minh City. Her father remains connected to many in the business community, but if the bloggers are right, in the next few weeks, the Prime Minister will be on shaky ground. As for the Vietnamese godfather, an anonymous response on one blog suggested he keeps his mouth shut. He surely sent all his money abroad. He will certainly plead guilty, get 10 to 20 years, but at most would stay in prison for 1 year. It's a familiar scenario. For LinkAsia, I'm Nguyen Qui Duc in Hanoi.
Now on U.S. airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.